We are in our third week on our homily series, Jesus Christ, our High Priest. In the first week, we established the fact that we indeed need a high priest. The idea of a high priest is not some old, antiquated idea, because as long as there's sin, and believe me, brothers and sisters, we all struggle with sin, there's always going to be a need to have a high priest who can bring atonement to us, who can heal our relationships between us and God and one another. We need a high priest, because only a high priest can do that. Also, we established the fact that wherever there's love, we need a high priest, because love always expresses itself through sacrifice. And sacrifice is at the heart of what a high priest does. I'm going to come back to that whole idea of love at the end of the homily. But last week, we discerned that not only do we have a need for a high priest, we have a high priest in Jesus Christ, who is in fact our only high priest. He's the perfection of what all the high priesthood was meant to be, as we saw in the readings today, where the Levitical priesthood was only temporary, and that Jesus is legitimate because he is the high priest of the line of Melchizedek that brought two elements together that hitherefore were not united in the culture of the Hebrews, and that is priest and king. He is our messianic high priest. He's our God King, who is our high priest. Now, we also established last week that Jesus presides at every Mass, okay? He's here at every Mass. We have the ministerial priesthood, which myself and Father Armando, we are for you, but we are here in persona Christi. That means I leave John Worgul behind, and when I'm here with the chasuble and what have you, Jesus Christ is here. And it's my job to get out of the way, to let Jesus love you and serve you through me, okay? So, there can be no clericalism in our midst. What is clericalism? Clericalism is an attitude that it's all about the priest, and they're the ones that do the important things in life, and all you have to do is come. That's clericalism. It's an attitude. Clericalism is not necessarily associated with things that we do or implement in the Mass, like bells and smells and torches and so on and so forth. It's essentially a bad attitude. And Vatican II condemned it. As long as I'm pastor here, there's going to be no clericalism. Because again, it's not about us up here. We are here to serve you, because you are the common priesthood of the laity. Have you heard that term before? You are the priest to the world. Do you know what Peter calls you? He calls you a royal priesthood. Notice how he puts those two words together that we have associated with Jesus. Jesus, our priest king. He has made you a royal priesthood, his own possession, his sacred possession, a holy nation, because it's you who are the priest to everyone around you. You see the flow, don't you? It comes from Christ, who is our one and only priest, that's ministered to you in persona Christi through the clergy to you, so that you can be what you're called to be. You have to embrace your identity, that you are indeed a priest. Do you think of yourself as priest? Well, if you don't, then we have a problem here. We have to embrace our identity. Now, how do we do that? Well, we come to our gospel reading and our Old Testament reading today, okay? And it's all about love. It really is. It's all about love. Let me tell you again, I've said this story a number of times, but it's such an important part of my life. When I discovered Deuteronomy 6, which was just read up here, okay? I was madly in love with a young lady, okay? This was back way in the day. And of course, when you're madly in love and your head's over heels and you're infatuated, what do? All you can do is think about that person, right? And that's how I was. I just became a marshmallow without any bones at all. I just completely gone, And she didn't think the same way about me. I don't know why. No, I'm sure. So I remember I was doing something mundane, like I was ironing a shirt, okay? And I pulled out my Hebrew Bible, okay? And something told me to go to this passage, Deuteronomy chapter 6. Hear, O Israel, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. The Lord your God is one. And of course, one means more than just the idea that we have a monotheistic idea of God, and that he's not just other gods, territorial spirits, but it means that God is absolutely, totally unique. And therefore, as unique, he is worthy of our love. Therefore, you love the Lord with all your heart. Now, the heart in the Bible, the word lave, means the seat of your mind, your intellect, your will, your imagination. You should love your God with all these good things inside of you. And then with your nephesh, which is the seat of your emotions. And then there's this word, me'od, which means muchness. So if there's anything left inside of you that has not been mentioned already, you should love your God with everything you've got. And so I was reading that, and I asked myself the question, God, can I love you as much as I think I love this young lady? And you know what came out? A resounding yes. And for that moment, I was free from my infatuation, and my love was transferred to something that was very transient, to that which is solid, that which is eternal. I'll tell you what, many priests, many philosophers have been created by a broken heart. It's the best thing that can happen to you, because it takes you to God, who is our ultimate source of love. Okay? You're following me. So, if we love God, how do we express that love? It's through sacrifice. Yes. When you love something, you sacrifice yourself for the person. Do you feel any regret for it? No, it's not like I have to do this. I have to sacrifice. It's like I can't help myself. And from that moment on, I was a different person in my teaching and everything I was doing. It's all about Jesus. I became, in a way, a priest to everyone around me, because when you're in love, you can't help but talk about what you love. Dear brothers and sisters, that's you. When we come here, it's all about the Mass, it's everything about love. Christ coming here, sacrificing himself for you. You're coming up here, and you are sacrificing yourself to God and to everyone around us. And then where are you going? The word Mass means go out and tell people about it. We cannot be anonymous Catholics. The day for anonymous Catholics are over. It doesn't work anymore. This whole business about cultural Catholics, it just doesn't work anymore. Are you anonymous? If you're anonymous, that might indicate that maybe you're not quite in love with Jesus as we need to be, because we always talk about what we love. Do your neighbors know that you are a Catholic? Do they know that you're a believer in Jesus? Do you know that you're their priest? You're the priest to your neighbor. You're the priest to your family. You are a priest to people you work with, the people you go to school with. You are their priest because you are the royal priesthood. You are Jesus Christ to them. We've got to get to this, dear brothers and sisters, because this is what it's all about.